Let me tell y'all about how I knew it was probably time for a divorce.
Okay.
So it started one morning about 4 or 5 months ago. So y'all, this is fresh. This is still pretty new. I was
Oh,
still in
wow.
my bed and my husband was in the shower. I'm sleeping good. And of course, his alarm starts going off. When I went to go turn it off, I saw something very interesting. So
Right.
you know how on iPhones and Androids, like you can see the last media played on your phone and it kind of scrolls across the screen?
Right.
Well, when I picked up his phone to go turn the alarm off, the last media that was played was corn. Not corn, y'all know what I mean. Not to get mad right away. I mean, I'm not a prude. I watch corn from time to time, but it was the timing. It was 7 in the morning, right before work, and it was just sitting there on his screen like it was the weather app. The reason this bothered me is because a couple years back, he had had an emotional affair that apparently had carried on for like a year. And one of the things that he blamed it on back then was a corn addiction. So seeing this on his phone felt very familiar, let's just say. So I texted him, probably not the best way to deal with this, but I wanted to name what I saw and give him a chance to be honest.
Right.
So I told him, I said, I wasn't snooping. I just was turning off your alarm. Is there anything that I should know? This is what I asked him. So this Negro immediately calls me and he's like, well, I wasn't expecting you to see this. And I was like, well, shit, I wasn't expecting to see it either. Is there anything going on? He's dodging me. He ducking, dodging, not trying to answer the question. Finally, after the third time I asked, he finally said it. He'd been thinking about polyamory. Y'all didn't see it going there now, did you? Now listen, polyamory wasn't even new to us. Not that we participated in it, but I had casually brought it up to him over like a decade ago. Like it was one of those maybe in 10 years conversations, but this Negro never let it go. And here we were. So at first I was devastated. I'm gonna be honest, but I was also so broken at that point in our relationship that I actually tried to entertain it, y'all. I started texting him rules and boundaries and shit. Like I was prepping for it. But eventually I got quiet and I realized that I don't want this. I can't do this. And I told him that and he seemed fine with it. That night he came home and we barely spoke to each other. But let me tell y'all what I did. I sat on the couch.
By the way, this story is going so many directions I just didn't anticipate, At this point, I'm like, what's next?
Opened up my laptop, pulled up a Google Doc, and I literally sat there for a couple of hours and wrote out everything. 16 years of history, the good, the bad, the numb, and then I dropped all that shit into ChatGPT. And I asked ChatGPT, does this man love me? And ChatGPT did the equivalent of a long sigh.
And by the way, this happens more than a lot of people realize. And I mean, people asking ChatGPT for direction when it comes to like real life issues. Like, guys, you see me use Miss Coffee and my AI assistant barista here, like to help me do research. I might ask it to help me maybe build systems around like stuff that I do, but I'm very careful. Believe it or not, I'm very careful to not sit there and actually think ChatGPT can give me a well-balanced, thought-out answer when it comes to making a decision this big in my life. But was she wrong to divorce her husband? I don't think so. Guys, I've while she's talking, I'm looking at different angles. I don't know how to help you if you go the Will Smith and Destiny polyamory route of letting other men clap your wife's cheeks. I'm sorry, that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. This is insane. I've never seen this play out well in any of the videos I've actually reacted to on that particular topic. This marriage is over at that point. If that man is begging for you and is okay to see another man sleep with you, wild stuff. This channel is sponsored by FathersHaveRights.com. So one of the experts in our prenup guide has over 20 years experience in divorce law. He says most people enter marriages with their eyes wide shut. Everyone is focused on the ring, proposal, makeup, venues, but no one thinks about things like alimony, property division, or custody. Are you a future husband who hasn't thought seriously about any of these things? If so, you need to understand that marriage is a legal contract with serious terms. Signing it without a prenup is like signing a blank 10-page contract. But the good news is it's not too late. Act now by clicking the link pinned to the top of the comment section and join the hundreds of men protecting their future marriages the right way.
And it laid out all the facts and said, From what you're describing, it does not sound like love. Y'all, let me tell you, I physically threw up and I didn't need ChatGPT to tell me this. I was
Right.
there, but just to see it on paper, that shit rocked me. And so I went to him and I asked, why do you love me? And his answer, you take care of me and you take care of the kids. And let me tell y'all are probably like, girl, he had been honestly saying this for years when I would ask him. You know, we'd been together for 16 years. So of course I'd asked him this question before. But this time something broke. Or maybe something finally clicked. I don't know. It was like a movie scene, y'all. It was like a movie was playing in my head, scene after scene, shooting in my head. All the moments I had brushed off, all the times I told myself, that's just how he is. It felt like I was watching like my own relationship on a screen, and suddenly I could not unsee it. I saw the emotional distance I had been excusing for years, the way I had been filling in the gaps, doing the heavy lifting to just keep us connected while he stayed absent.
I mean, that's not surprising, right? When you decide that someone isn't best for you, then all the stuff that you've been working through and kind of, forgiving and winking at will become transparent for anybody. Where I think this lady messed up, and anybody who's ever in a situation like this, is you talk about something like polyamory and you see that someone's really interested in it and you haven't really thought that through, and you see their enthusiasm, right? Imagine if a woman told you, I one day want to have an open relationship. That's not something that's like should be glossed over as just a conversation you just had one Monday morning over some coffee. No, that's a serious, serious conversation that needs to be revisited, and you need to ask them, is this serious? Do you believe this? Because entering a marriage and then having that person pester you about wanting to open up the marriage is problematic.
I realized I had been building the bridge both ways and calling it love. And in that moment, I finally saw it clearly. This wasn't just about him being broken. I was broken too. I had been so busy trying to carry the weight for both of us that I had just ignored how empty it left me. So from that moment on, we have lived in separate rooms. We were lucky and blessed enough to have a separate space for him to go. And at first, I thought that the space might spark some clarity. I thought maybe if I step back, he'd step forward and fill in the gap. But what I've gotten instead was mostly silence, avoidance, and distance. And that's when I realized this isn't the beginning of healing for our marriage. This is the beginning of the end of it. But here's the thing though. I don't share this for pity, and I'm not trying to bash him. It's just the truth, my truth. I share it because I know so many women are sitting in that same quiet confusion, just wondering if they're crazy for feeling unloved while just holding everything together.
Yeah, this is where I disagree, right? Because now she's making it this thing that can be relatable to everyone else. No, this is like very specific. This is a very specific issue. Man, your husband wanted to watch you sleep with other men. Maybe not physically be there, but he was okay with it. I think that's different. That's different from the chicks who are out here wondering, am I happy? And so I should divorce my husband because I am unhappy, right? There's the two different things going on here.
You're not crazy. You're not weak, and you damn sure aren't alone. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had that one moment where everything just clicked and you knew the relationship you were in wasn't built to last? This was my story.
As I was going to check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. I can already guess where these comments are going. I know we're going to have stories of women sharing experiences where they actually participated in this with their husband or their boyfriend. And the men are all shocked that in less than 24 hours, she already has a list of men who are ready to smash while he's there trying to work on that one chick who he thought was going to give him some play. I'm not here saying it can't be done. I'm just here saying be careful what you ask for. This will end in tears.
So this influencer, her name's Melina. So one day she's watching YouTube and she notices this streamer. And she gets a little crush on him. Now the streamer, his name is Destiny. He does political commentary and debates and stuff, and she watches him often. Now she eventually messages him on Instagram, and he messages her back. And they start talking, and they message back and forth for a few months, and after a period of time, he flies out to New Zealand to visit her where she's staying at the time. And things get romantic, and they start dating. Now here's where it gets interesting. Destiny and Melina, they decide to have an open relationship. So they're together, but they're allowed to see other people. And they're both influencers, so they put their lives out there publicly. And they're both very vocal about this.
I'm in a poly relationship. The reason why I'm in a poly relationship is because I don't give a if my girlfriend goes and another guy because I know she's coming back to me at the end of the night.
Now, they eventually get married, and their open relationship becomes an open marriage. And they love each other a lot. Like, there's no need for a prenup. I mean, he's already a successful streamer. He's got more money than he needs.
I make so much money if somebody takes a few million from me, whatever.
Now, Destiny gets a lot of pushback for being in this unorthodox relationship. Now, he does a lot of political debates, often on these anti-women red pill podcasts, and they will attack his open marriage.
And how do you expect that to last for the next 5 years?
I mean, it's lasted for 4 years, which I think is longer than any relationship you've been in, right?
But Destiny and Melina, they don't care. They have no problem defending their open marriage. Besides, their relationship is going great. Until one day, earlier this month, Destiny's fans noticed something weird. He's allegedly no longer following Melina on social media. And his fans are like, what the hell? He's not following his own wife? The next day, Destiny responds to some messages on his Discord where he talks to his fans. And he's ranting about Melina. And in these messages, he says she's with another man. But they have an open relationship, so whatever, right? No. According to him, she has become obsessed with this other man. Now, the other man is allegedly this guy, who we'll just call Meme. Meme is a TikToker with a pretty big following. Now, according to Destiny, this new guy, allegedly Meme, is toxic and abusive, and Destiny wants Melina to stay away from him. While this new guy, allegedly Meme, wants Melina to divorce Destiny, I guess so she can be with him. Now, Destiny's also frustrated because he's allegedly been paying for Melina's apartment in Sweden, while she has been allowing, allegedly Meme, to live there in that apartment secretly for free. And basically, this has caused a lot of problems for them. And Destiny says he's done with her and he's done with all this. So then, screenshots of all of Destiny's messages hit Twitter, and suddenly his name's trending a little, and everyone sees this and they want to know what's going on. Like, is this poly relationship actually over? Is Destiny really getting a divorce? And he's worth millions of dollars. Is she really going to take all that money? And of course, a lot of people he had debated before, the anti-women red pill podcast people, they start using it as an excuse to dunk on him for being in an open marriage.
I don't think open relationships ever work whenever a woman is open as well. It only works when the man is open, but never when the woman's open. A woman can't serve two masters. She really can't.
So Destiny sees all this chatter, and he knows he's got to address it. And he makes a video talking about the divorce rumors, and it's an hour long. But don't worry, I watched it all. Basically, he says he's talking to his therapist about all this, and he doesn't want to go into any more detail about it or trash talk Melina or allegedly Meme while he figures all this out. Around that same time, Melina gets on a live stream, and she says something similar.
I personally don't want to talk about anything about my private life public.
So we don't actually know right now if they are getting a divorce. But we do know Melina has since agreed to sign a post-nuptial agreement. So any rumors of her trying to take his millions of dollars just turned out to not be true. And seriously though, I think this has got to suck for both of them, so I hope this works out for everyone involved.
Top comment here says, in my experience, as soon as they say anything about polyamory, they've already cheated and they're trying to get it. Here's another person who added, one thing about a man, he's going to always put himself first, and we need to do the same. Somebody else here says, no one, I repeat, no one has an affair for a year. That's emotional and not physical.
I've been in 3 poly relationships and they all ended for the same reason. Because these men say they want to be poly, they want to be in open relationships, but what they really mean is they want to be able to have multiple girlfriends or wives. But they don't want you dating other men. Their egos cannot handle you dating other men. Each time I try to even discuss having another man, the relationship ended. They no longer want to be with me because, I wasn't all about them. So when they talk about wanting poly, it's not for your benefit. It's so they can have multiple women. They don't want you having another man at all. And I'm talking about at all. So don't even let them play in your face when they talk about that poly nonsense, because it's only for them.
This lady here says, if a lot of men were more upfront with their feelings and allowing their spouse to figure out if they want to deal with what they are dishing out, this world would be a better place. Some women are comfortable in being kept, but not chosen. But as for me, I want both and deserve both. This commenter here says, my husband is currently throwing a fit and slamming things around the kitchen because someone ate the leftovers he wanted. Sigh. These chicks... This woman is literally in the comment section here complaining about her husband.
Girl, get back on track, regain your focus, and give the...
With the rainbow flag.
I opened up my marriage and I got a divorce. I've talked about this before, but the reason for the marriage ending was not the opening of the marriage. In the end, the thing that ended the marriage was that my partner said he was interested in non-monogamy when in fact he was not. In my case, it was actually my ex-husband's idea to open the marriage, and I was the one that was worried about feeling jealous, feeling insecure, and not really being sure if I wanted it or not. It ended up being the exact opposite. When non-monogamy is involved in a relationship's end, a lot of people assume that that is the cause, when in reality, it's usually just communication and the lack of it. Partner said that he was into non-monogamy and wanted to open the marriage, but he didn't actually want that. He only did it to save our relationship and appease what I wanted or what he thought I wanted. Well, he realized that he really wanted a monogamous relationship with one person forever and children. I realized that I wanted a non-monogamous lifestyle with no children. I was really the one that was enjoying going on dates with other people. I realized I was polyamorous and wanted to date and potentially fall in love with a woman. In the end, we did get divorced, but I learned a lot about myself in the process. I'm married and in an open marriage. I'm polyamorous. And had I not gone through this experience, I wouldn't have been able to experience the true openness and love that ethical non-monogamy has brought to my life.
Yeah, man. I've never seen polyamorous situations go well. Now, do I believe that there are people out there who somehow power through it? They probably are. But I don't think a healthy woman can go around sleeping with a bunch of different men and come home to her husband and that be a healthy lifestyle. And while my faith and spiritual convictions do play a role when it comes to my value system, there's just too much scientific information out there that women sleeping around with multiple men harms them. Of course, guys, always curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Hey, guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon-to-be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.